So this is another addition to our series. This is quite a big jump for me because we're basically jumping through 30 episodes in this one podcast episode. It's the only reason I'm doing this whole thing is this series is your typical master butler kind of trope where they have this barrier in between them and they're supposed to be director and employee kind of thing, and they're not supposed to cross that line, but the alpha gets into a whole physical relationship with the Omega, and then things starts to develop. They kind of learn more about one another, and one thing led to another, and 30 chapters after, we are at the part where our little Omega is in heat. I repeat, our little Omega is in heat. Before we get started, I just want to remind our viewers that if you like seeing more yaoi content and would like to support this channel, please don't forget to smash that like button. Also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Feel free to message me in my social media, which I'll be using to interact with viewers about more yaoi content. If that's something that interests you, feel free to follow me at ZEALED FUJOSHI. Finally, this episode will contain explicit content and a lot of manhwa spoilers. With that in mind, please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, without further ado, let's jump into chapter 31st of Butler. This series was pretty normal, or at least pretty typical yaoi Omegaverse kind of story. That's why I didn't really cover this series in my podcast, because there was really nothing exciting about it until now. Because this too was in denial stage for they're still in denial stage even though we're already in chapter 30. And I think the whole change point for this two is our alpha cannot accept that his brother found out before him. That he was under the impression that our uke isn't a beta because that's the requirement for living in such a high-class hotel, or at least working in a high-class hotel, that there could be no omegas in the staff. They have to be betas. But after doing things with Jekwon, our Omega became an Omega. He really was a beta at the beginning of this series. It's just with all of their physical connections with one another, he turned into an Omega by chapter 30. And I am glad that Jekwon is taking responsibility for what he did, even though I'm pretty sure there's a lot of bad alphas out there that would not have taken the responsibility for this Omega. But Jekwon is not like that. He is a gentleman, so he did offer that he will take responsibility, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that the whole misunderstanding of our Omega hiding the fact that he is an Omega, Jekwon thinking that he was a beta all this time, he felt like he was used and lied to. Thank God that the author did not drag that storyline for a long time. The fact that our Omega wasn't really hiding that he was Omega. He got turned to an Omega. He really was saying the truth that he is a beta. I don't know if could have handled the suspense of waiting for the next season for this series. So I'm really just glad that they cleared everything up so quickly. And at this point, I just wish that these two would get married and have a baby. I mean, it's bound to happen. But I still have to say though, with everything that has happened in this series, I I still find this series really corny. I don't understand why they don't just tell one another that they love each other. Jekwon already knows that the Omega is in love with him. Jekwon just doesn't wanna try to convey his feelings to our Omega. You know, rather than saying I'll take responsibility for turning you to an Omega, just say that you love him. I think you'll get a better reaction from our Omega that way. I mean, like, it's so unromantic, right? If you just say like you want to get married just because Jekwon turned him into an Omega, like, there's a sense of guilt there. Like, he probably felt like he doesn't want to carry that kind of guilt that, oh, he only married me because he turned me into an Omega. Of course he doesn't want that. What he wants is to be told that Jekwon is really in love with him all this time, you know. But it is still funny to see because Jekwon looks like he got dumped by his boyfriend. It's because of their FUBU status, really. Like, they did this whole FUBU thing, and now Jekwon can't even start a regular relationship with him because he stayed in that whole relationship, physical relationship, all this time, right? The Alpha really needs to persuade our Omega with more sincerity in the next couple of chapters, and I can't wait. Mr. Alpha, Jekwon really needs to turn on the romance if you want to get a yes for your next proposal. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to follow my social media and be teased about some of the boys' love that I'm interested in. Feel free to leave me a message and converse with me in my Discord channel. I'd love to hear back from you. And please consider supporting the show by donating as little as 99 cents through www.zealedfujoshi.xyz. Also, don't forget to support the author. All the manhwa details can be found in the description below. Again, thank you so much and hope to see you next time.